Hello YouTubers, welcome back to another Tesla electric car video with me, Adam Wellinformed. Are you interested in buying a Tesla Model 3 or Tesla Model Y over the coming months? And are you sick of seeing the purchase price increase? Over the past few months, I've spoken to many of you in the comment section of my videos, and I know the price increases are pushing some of you away from that prospect of owning a Tesla as your first electric car. Each time I read a comment of that magnitude, I keep thinking to myself, I wish I could do more to help you transition to a Tesla as your first electric car. So I put my thinking hat on and I thought, is there any way that I can help bring that chance of Tesla ownership back within your grasp? It's not been easy collating this list, but I'm really hoping this will make a small difference to those that are seriously considering acquiring a Tesla Model 3 or even a Model Y. If you're not aware of the recent price increases, to put these things into perspective, in just 16 months since my own Tesla Model 3 purchase, the price for the same model variant, the Tesla Model 3 SR Plus, has increased over £5,500. That's almost $7,200 for my friends across the pond. It can't be sugarcoated, price increases of that magnitude are hideous to stomach in such a small period of time, especially for new buyers looking at making that EV transition for the first time. I think it's fair to say it's well publicised that EVs are initially more expensive to buy, and if you've already budgeted to make that initial purchase, then seeing the price increase within months apart is making that prospect of owning a Tesla dimmer and dimmer each month. Now, after some research, the price increases are not solely a Tesla demand thing. I read this Inside EV article just the other day, and that quotes the base Ford Mach-E is now £6,200 more expensive to buy than before. Ford UK then cited that this was due to a dramatic increase in material and energy costs as a result for the price increases. Therefore, vehicles from different brands across the automotive market are also seeing similar price increases, just as the price of living, sadly, continues to increase. But what, if anything, can you do today to make purchasing a Tesla Model 3 a more affordable prospect? I'm not claiming to be or going to be some financial guru and tell you to scrimp and save more money, or to earn new money through crypto, or to place any other magical investment or stock purchase. Trust me, I'm not that guy. That's not the intention of this video. I'm sure you're all grown up enough to work out your own financial situation and or you know where to seek that advice should you need it. So if I'm not going to help you bring more money to the table, how can I help you today? Well, my intentions are to focus on methods and tips that aren't influenced purely by bringing more money to the table, which would be the most ideal outcome in all cases, but that's not the easiest thing to achieve or at least budget for. These tips that I put together should really help change your value perception of a Tesla Model 3 or Y, and on some occasions you could actually gain yourself. Without knowing these tips, you may otherwise have already discounted the likelihood of Tesla ownership. Like I said before, if you're really serious about owning a Tesla, I'm looking to help you truly appreciate the hidden gems of the present deal that you may have not accounted for. So if purchasing a Tesla is on your radar, this video is for you. Before we get started, just to let you know, I've split the video into chapters and you can go into the video description and find the relevant chapter that you're interested in the most. Right, enough of the small talk, let's get into it, folks. So the first method or tip to potentially make a Tesla more affordable for you comes from personal experience. If you're truly serious about purchasing a Tesla Model 3, if you placed an order today and secured a vehicle at today's price, did you know that pretty much guarantees that you will not pay more than today's price quoted for your build? And if you're thinking, that's not really saving me money right now, Adam, really stick with me here as it's about to get good. Utilizing an early order allows you to be in control of the price that you pay for your Tesla. If between the time from the order to a potential delivery date, being over 10 months in the UK for this particular build, the price magically moves lower, you have the option to secure the lower price. But what if the retail price continues to increase, Adam? Well, by the time you receive your delivery date, not only is it likely to be a more feature-packed vehicle than a Model 3 build today, but from the day that you clicked purchase and paid that order fee, you could have gained some sort of residual buffer space, should we call it. That's all because you've secured and agreed a lower price versus the higher retail price offered to a new order or an inventory vehicle on the day of your delivery day. Word of caution, if you do utilize this method, naturally you need to be in a position to follow through with the order around the estimated delivery date. However, I understand that you can actually defer that delivery date at least once. This method does come with some risks to it, as the order fee is technically stated to be non-refundable, but the But for the sake of £200 or a $250 order fee, if you can depart with that money today, you can protect and secure the price of the vehicle against continued inflated prices. And whilst we can't predict future pricing, do you think price increases will continue over the next 10 months? Utilising this tip, in the best case scenario, whilst it doesn't make the price cheaper for you today, unless the price does move lower, if it stays the same or it does move upwards, you've guaranteed the price as soon as you clicked order. And if it really does work out and the prices do increase, well, congratulations, you may have just baked yourself some higher residual value from day one of delivery. Right, moving on to tip number 2. This should help shine a new light on a deal that you are securing today. This whole process that I'm about to refer to, I like to refer to it as value perception. I've talked about this before, and you can watch this video on the screen now, and that goes through my full ongoing costs over 12 months, though that's probably best watched after this very video, because that video will really reiterate what I'm about to break down to you right now. We know buying an EV initially is generally more expensive to buy. However, your costs don't just stop at buying a car. It's not an all-inclusive price. There are fixed and variable costs each year, this being your refueling or charging costs, the servicing, the maintenance, insurance, the vehicle tax, or licensing fees. Making the cost choice on just the ticket price alone is actually a recipe for disaster, because we know this isn't a fixed all-inclusive price. For some, the ticket price is still going to be too much of a stretch. This isn't a one method to fix all, I do get that. But just don't immediately assume that you're going to be in that category in the first place. You could actually be part of a small group that don't truly understand the ongoing cost savings that you are about to make in comparison to acquiring a new ICE alternative. This whole argument has very similar economics to your conventional home printer. You can buy the cheapest inkjet printer from your local supermarket, but you're then stuck with high ink replacement costs. Spend a little bit more on the printer, maybe even buying a laser printer, and your ink replacement costs and your costs per sheet are usually much cheaper as a result. Bringing it back to car terms, if you also bought a local old banger of a car, you'll pay a smaller ticket price, and as a result, you fully expect to pay for higher maintenance requirements, lower than official fuel efficiency, and therefore higher fuel costs. The value perception for when any consumer purchases a new car also has to change from the ticket price to the anticipated costs across your intended term of ownership. This is where the fun begins. Let's say you own a Tesla Model Y over a period of 4 years and for 10,000 miles, which are well-known average ownership figures, in comparison to owning this lovely looking Mercedes GLB all-wheel drive petrol. This Merc retails for over £7,200 cheaper than the Model Y. It's around 5% cheaper to buy than the Tesla, but start factoring in some home charging on a EV-friendly tariff available today, servicing and the UK's vehicle excise duty tax. The monthly cost of ownership makes the Model Y cheaper of £240 a month, and within that I've actually included a monthly finance plan on both vehicles using the same deposit on PCP across those 4 months. So whilst retail prices have an effect on the financial decision to go ahead with it, please do your own research on the true cost of ownership before making that decision, because that ICE alternative you could go for instead may actually cost you more on just average mileage and average term of ownership. This doesn't even account for the lack of maintenance the Model Y needs in comparison to what modern day petrol alternatives require, such as new spark plugs or cam belt replacements, etc., as part of the manufacturer's guidance. So the true overall position could be even more worse in this Mercedes ICE comparison. Yikes, I don't know about you guys, but the choice of having £240 in my back pocket and a Tesla versus the Mercedes, I think we know the right answer, and yet this is exactly why you need to run your figures regardless. My eCompCalc app has been designed to help in this very scenario, and it's helped me during this very video, but naturally results may vary depending on the car that you use and your personalised circumstances, but overall making a financial decision just a price tag is only one cost of many. It may be the biggest, but don't overlook the recurring costs, because as you just saw, they do add up and can really bring your desire to acquire a Tesla Model 3 back into the picture. If you were surprised by these figures, or you've done your own figures, I'd love to hear it in the comment section below. Also, if you're enjoying my video, a cheeky little click on the like button and subscribing to my channel wouldn't go unmissed. Such a free gesture really just helps spur me to do more videos of this manner. The third tip really feeds into the second tip, to help you with your calculations, and that's looking at EV-friendly electric tariffs for home charging and reviewing your local charging options as a whole. I don't want to go into the whole EV home tariff subject too much because the video on the screen now is a really in-depth overview of that and the benefits and disadvantages, but really helps you analyze and understand if having an EV tariff is beneficial. Essentially, you may have a utility provider in your country that charges you less money per kilowatt hour to charge your car at night. So for example, I pay less than half my normal rate at just 5 pence per kilowatt hour for 4 hours of charging. It makes charging an EV so much more effective than my peak rate. Still, you need to assess or evaluate your potential electric costs as a whole and if it's even worth moving to one in the first place. The video I made in this subject includes tariffs no longer available. However, the formulas and calculations, etc., still very much remain and will help you along with your research. Another thing to consider in relation to your charging options is, are you entitled to free charging in any way? That could be at a number of destinations, and quite frankly, that does sound a bit fanciful in today's market. However, a place that you may have overlooked is your place of work. Maybe they offer free charging to colleagues, or alternatively, you can download an app called ZapMap. Here you'll find all your local level 2 chargers, and you may actually find some chargers at your local supermarket or in your retail park offer some form of free charging. This really helps bring down your charging costs even further, depending on your circumstances, and positively influences the true value perception figure. The fourth option and how you can make a Tesla purchase more affordable today is just working out the best method of acquiring the vehicle. In other terms, who and how is the vehicle being purchased? There is no golden bullet, as there are pros and cons to each financial product, depending on your personal circumstances, such as your employment status and your country of residence. For example, for us Brits, the personal finance products you have for cars include PCP, leasing, and salary sacrifice arrangements. If you do go down the finance route, depending on the product selection, you may need a low, high, or even no deposit at all to secure a deal. They all have their own advantages and disadvantages depending on the person's circumstances, but overall outcome is some will deliver more value than others over the term of ownership. The real spanner in the works is for business purchases of EVs. If you incur benefit in kind for your company car, this is a mere 2% in the 2022-23 tax year, and I believe there are tax advantages for the business as well to own the car. An accountant can guide you much better than myself on this, so I will spare you of the details, but if you have the option of acquiring it through the business, go ahead, do your research again, do your cost comparison and see if the tax breaks or tax incentives you are entitled to do benefit you. Depending on where you live, you may also be entitled to grants or personal tax breaks too, all of which will potentially alleviate some of the recent cost increases. The final tip, which will have an immediate impact on the price but will involve some sacrifice, is just your whole Tesla build. I did the above Model 3 SR Plus versus long range Model 3 video, and I can say with full confidence no one really compares both models this way. They really should, because I actually break down if the long range Model 3 is really going to be worth it in your personal circumstances. It may be the superior car, but if the purchase price is an issue, don't just discard the Model 3 SR Plus, because surprisingly, despite its lower range and charging speed, you may find those advantages are used a handful of times each year. And I can show you how much that means to you, because the question is super unique to your personal circumstances. Check it out. If it convinces you to drop a trim, that will deliver a straight up saving. The second method is assessing if you really need that metallic paint option and if you need to upgrade your wheels. These black wheels are aftermarket wheel covers. They cost me around $200 all in, and I'm free to take them off and at my own leisure. The difference between the Model Y wheel trims can be over £2,000 apart. Just by not going with the premium option doesn't mean there aren't premium but cheaper aftermarket options available to you. If you're interested in the route that I took, there's a video in the description of this video so you can get the full breakdown of it yourself. This extends to the colour of the interior. Is paying for that upgrade the difference between buying a Tesla or not? Ultimately, it's personal taste and only you can make that right decision, but it's worth reevaluating to ensure you're happy with that choice. To conclude, I know these aren't a solution for everyone's financial situation, however I'm hoping it was enough to push it back within your grasps again. As I know you've just heard, it's a mixture between a change in perception and how you view the costs of your purchase, but also where to find additional savings within your vehicle purchase journey. To some degree, this isn't just Tesla limited, as this could help you transition to other electric vehicles too, but overall, I really hope this video was of some help, and if it was, do drop me a comment, as this whole video stems from comments in the first place. These videos are produced for your benefit. Also, if you got this far in the video and you're not sure what to comment, you can drop the phrase "It's Tesla time" and I'll give you a cheeky thumbs up for getting this far in the video. Don't forget to subscribe and to share the video with your friends and family if it did help. You've been great, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.